I'm here today with Hannah Mills, who is the most successful female sailor in British history, 2 times world champion, 2 times gold medalist.
Yep.
That's insane. How are you today?
I'm really good, thank you.
Good. Thanks for having us at the America's Cup. We're here at the Athena base today, which is the base for the Women's America's Cup and the Youth America Cup, which is kind of your brainchild. How has that been, and what's been the journey to get it to where it is today?
Yeah, I mean, I guess the Athena Pathway is kind of myself and Sir Ben Ainsley joining together, trying to put together the strongest team we can to try and win the Youth Cup and the Women's Cup. It's the first ever Women's America's Cup event, so for me that was always such a huge pull to try and build a programme that can really inspire the next generation of girls and boys. So we have obviously the performance side here trying to win these events, but then also we have a grassroots programme back in the UK based at the moment down in Weymouth. So yeah, the Athena Pathway kind of encompasses grassroots all the way up to the high performance level that we've got here today.
Yeah, it's amazing like having those role models for women to look up to. If there wasn't a women's cup, like how do these young girls know who to look up to? Who are your like role models in the sport?
In the sport, oh my god,
not in the sport.
I've had so many role models. I mean, Ben was always a role model growing up. You know, he was kind of the face of British sailing, and so yeah, always Ben. I met him when I was 11 at a small sailing event, and I hadn't realised, because my parents weren't into sailing, I hadn't realised sailing was in the Olympics, and so I met him after he'd come back from the Atlanta Games, got a silver medal, and that was like the moment of, oh my god, sailing's in the Olympics, that's what I want to do. But then I guess from other sports, I love tennis, so it was always kind of Serena Williams, Roger Federer, yeah, just amazing, iconic sports people. I think that you can just see the drive and commitment to try and succeed.
Yeah. So you're, you know, helping head up the Athena team, the Youth Cup, but you're also racing yourself.
Yeah.
What is your role in the team?
So I'm kind of team principal of the youth and women's, so I'm kind of overseeing the whole team, but then also I'm driving on the starboard side in the women's cup boat. So there's 4 people on the boat, 2 drivers and 2 trimmers, so I'm one of the drivers.
What's the best piece of advice you've ever received in sailing? I
think just in general, one of my favourite things that I like to hold on to is don't let the fear, it's baseball, I don't even like baseball really, but it's don't let the fear of striking out stop you from playing the game, which I think is so apt in any walk of life. Whatever you're doing, is just that fear of failure stopping you trying to achieve is massive. So yeah, that always sticks with me.
Well, you do so much. You're an incredibly powerful woman. How is it balancing now being a mother, now doing everything that you do? It must be quite hard being, you know, away from the little ones for so long.
Yeah, it's super hard. Sienna's going to turn 2 in a couple of weeks, which just seems mad. But she's out here, she's at nursery, so actually in many ways this is the closest I've ever come to a normal job in terms of hours in the week and working, and she's at nursery and then having her in the evenings and in the mornings. I guess the only difference is we're kind of 6.5 days a week at the moment, just in that final run-up preparation. So that's been one of my biggest challenges is that time. But my husband, Nick Dempsey, who's out here too, fully supporting, has made that very possible for me. He's always got Sienna there. Any moment that I could possibly hang out with her, he's there with her. So yeah, that's been hugely beneficial.
And we're here today, we're about to go watch the youth semi-final. The women kick off in a few weeks.
Yep, 5th of October.
Yeah, what have we got to look out for? What are the next stages for
Yeah,
teams?
so the youth team race today, 4 races all today, semi-finals. The top 2 then go through to a final. So really rooting for our team in that today. So the whole team's down here supporting. And then we're still doing our final preparations of training up to the Women's Cup, which starts on the 5th of October. So I guess the final prep is always just the mental side, trying to make sure you're in the right headspace, thinking about the event, getting sharp on kind of your manoeuvres and all the things on the water. And generally when you're building up to an event, you're trying to keep ticking off things to feel like you're still progressing right up until the day you start racing and then through the event.
Yeah. Do you have a favourite memory in your very celebrated sailing career?
Been lucky.
You haven't been lucky, you worked very hard.
That's true, but there's been some amazing ones. I think I'll never forget the London Olympics opening ceremony. That was just insane to go to as an athlete at home games. Yeah, it was unreal.
And for someone like me who maybe wants to get into sailing, how would I go about that? Or do you have any tips for someone wanting to get into the sport?
Yeah, I think it's always seen as a bit of an inaccessible sport in many ways, but just to get out and go sailing, there's so many sailing clubs across the UK. You know, whether you live near the sea or whether you live inland, there's so many reservoirs and lakes, and you can pretty cheaply, to be honest, just go and do a sailing course at your local sailing club. And then from that, often you'll meet people that have their own boats and you can go and crew for them on the weekends. And so slowly but surely you start building a community at your sailing club, and I guess it's a cool, it's a really fun, amazing sport to get involved with. People are so welcoming, even if at first it might feel like it's out of your comfort zone. I would just strongly recommend give it a go, because there's nothing like being on the water.
Oh, thank you so much. That's amazing. You make me want to get out there. And yeah, best of luck to the women's team and the youth team, and thanks for having us along.
Thanks, great to have you here.